Greetings, everybody. This is the Mad Professor from the Two Cigars and a Blunt podcast, coming on Fridays, 8 Eastern, 7 Central, followed closely by the Ashed Out After Show. And Wednesdays, now we have the Better Than Sex Sports podcast, 7 Eastern, 6 Central. And I know it's been a while since I made anything, since I posted anything. And honestly, it's because I'm trying to not stay angry at everything that goes on, but it seems like every 5 minutes there's something we can be pissed about, and I quite honestly didn't know where to go. But I'll start with this one question for people like me who consider themselves either left-leaning or progressive. Why is it Democrats are such damn cowards when it comes to flexing power in any way, shape, or form? And I know you know what I'm getting at. The vote to fund the government for the next 6 months, where Democrats got nothing, absolutely nothing. They didn't even filibuster the bill. And the problem I have is Democrats, when they're the majority party, they allow the minority party, being the Republicans, to hijack every single damn vote. Every vote. The Republicans get more in the Democratic bills passed than Democrats are ever allowed to get when the Republicans have the majority, including now. The way the Republicans wrote this bill was to allow Donald Dummy, I'm sorry, I called him Donald Dummy again, number 47, to decide how the money is allocated. So, it can all go to his own pet projects. It can all do whatever President Musk actually wants to do. And Democrats didn't push back at all. They're going to allow the debt ceiling to be raised. I mean, I don't understand. You're cutting spending, but you're raising the damn debt limit, the debt ceiling, which makes no sense at all, since you're supposed to be cutting. They again already gave more money to an already inflated defense budget. Why is that? If this president is the least warlike president that's ever been elected. They also didn't protect Medicaid and Medicare, and that's the thing that pisses me off about being left leaning and progressive like I am, is when the last time the Democrats had the presidency and both houses of Congress, they could have easily codified Roe v. Wade. They could have easily codified the Voting Rights Act. They could have easily done any number of things that liberal voters wanted, and they did nothing. I mean, okay, they gave us the ACA, just barely gave us the ACA. And even then, they allowed Republicans to hijack that so that it came with the caveats that the ACA just meant that it was easier for someone to get government-backed private insurance rather than health insurance for all, or a single-payer health insurance, which they allowed the Republicans to call socialism, despite the fact our whole government is socialist. Our government's never been capitalist at all. We act capitalist, but our government's always been socialist. And in this vote last week for the continued resolution that Democrats voted for, that some Democrats voted for, led by minority leader Chuck Schumer, they didn't protect Social Security. They didn't protect anything that Democrats hold near and dear. I mean, yes, they sort of protected Medicare and Medicaid, but of course they put in the Republicans put in the law that if number 45 and Elon wants to cut that off, or 47 and Elon wants to stop it, they can, or they can draw money from it. Then again, of course, we added more money to the defense for the peace president, the president who will never start a war. We added more money to the defense budget, and gave him carte blanche to say, let's go to war with Greenland, let's go to war with Canada, let's go to war with anyone that we want to. And Democrats didn't even stand up for it. The Democratic leadership, rather, didn't stand up for it, because there are members of the Democratic Party who fought back against it and voted against it, of course. But leadership kept saying, hey, let's play nice about this stuff. Okay, that's all well and good. And then they didn't even want to put in protections for the economy. You know, the economy that number 47 again. Well, 47 and Elon decided to come in and wreck. They didn't put protections in for anything. They didn't put in price gouging. They really didn't do anything. They didn't do anything to protect federal workers. I mean, it's like they basically rolled over like a family pet would when you've been away for 2 or 3 weeks, and you come home, your family pet jumps all over you, licks you in your face, show you its belly. That's basically what the Democrats did. And then they have the nerve to sit there and say, we're thinking about this long term. Okay, what long term? Because by the time you want to respond, everything will be gone already. The country as we know it will be over. We'll be run by a tyrant who will refuse to leave. And don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I understand that a government shutdown might not be the best optics, but here's the thing. When the Republicans are in the minority, they say they sit there and tell their followers, the people that will vote for them, their supporters, that the administration that's in charge owns the shutdown. And this time they allowed the majority party, the party that has all 3 branches of government, to say if it's shut down, it's the Democrats' fault. So it makes no sense. And then, like I said, the Democrats decided to go, oh, well, we're going to play nice. And the thing of it is, these Democrats, and I understand you want to call yourself the party of values, of American values, and mean it, unlike the Republicans when they say that they're a family value party but have never had family values. I don't understand why they would allow themselves to be run roughshod over, unless they just don't care, unless they're just another extension of the Republican Party. They're just not as smart about doing it. And that's the vibe I'm getting from this, is because they seem like everything that they want doesn't matter. Everything we want, rather, doesn't matter to the grand scheme of the country, of the running of the country. Because, like I said, even when they had majorities and the presidency, they did absolutely nothing out of fear that Republicans would make it all look bad. It's just like Republicans are all high-fiving themselves over the Inflation Reduction Act passed by the last administration, the Biden-Harris administration. They're high-fiving themselves over the Infrastructure Act passed again by the Biden-Harris administration, and then crapping on it at the same time, saying it's government overreach, government spending, while they're taking the money back to their districts for their little pet projects. And I mean, and one of the things that Biden said that I was thrilled about was when he was in a district of a Republican who voted the infrastructure bill down, and then talked about the money that they were bringing in. I'm glad he brought up that, hey, your guy voted against this. But he only said it one time. I mean, no, he said it multiple times. But he didn't. No other Democrat joined him in talking about it. Because, and that's the other thing, Democrats act like they're afraid to tout their success. Like they're embarrassed about it because they're afraid to own it. Own your damn successes. Own what you've done. Sit there and talk about it. Don't let Republicans own the framing of everything you want to do, because the sad shit is the majority of the voters wanted it. The majority of the voters applauded it when you did it. And then you walked away from it and act like it didn't happen. While you have Republicans, and especially the maggots within the Republican Party, they'll clap up everything they do or don't do. Whether they did it or not, they're going to clap it up if it's a good thing and act like it's a great thing, while also going to right-wing media saying, oh, this was the worst thing that's ever happened to this country. And their people accept both sides of that coin, which is just the dumbest damn thing in the world. Okay, another thing. This stupid trade war that 47 is involving us in because he doesn't know how a trade deficit works. Let me explain to you how a trade deficit works. You have a deficit if you send goods valued at, let's pull up just an arbitrary number, $2 billion. You ship that out from your country. But in turn, that same country you just shipped that $1 billion to, that $1 billion in products rather to, you're buying stuff from them that costs $2 billion or $3 billion. You have a trade deficit. That's how trade deficits work. Because of the way the laws have been written for American companies and the way the laws were allowed to be that certain things can be built elsewhere, America has a trade deficit and probably always will. Now, because 47 he understands how tariffs work. Let's be real. He's not that stupid. He's not a smart man. But he's not as incredibly stupid as he pretends to be. He knows that the tariffs are going to raise costs for the American public. It's not going to. The thing of it is, he keeps putting in under the guise of, I'm trying to bring manufacturing back to America to rebuild these factories and get them going. Well, how long do you think that's going to take? And the thing of it is, these corporations are used to having the profits the way they are. Cheap labor builds the parts. Cheap parts are bought. Cheap parts are put together and with cheap labor and sold here in America for a premium price. Do you think they're going to give up that profit margin? No. Price of everything is always going to go up. It's never going to friggin' come down. That's why I found it stupid that these folks actually believed he gave a damn about how much you spent on a carton of eggs, on a gallon of gasoline. He doesn't give a damn, because the companies that pay him, the oil companies, they all pay him to not care. They pay, hell, I'm not going to say just him. They pay most politicians to not give a damn how much we pay for a gallon of fuel or for a carton of eggs. They don't care about that. It's just like with flying. When the price of aviation fuel went up, the airlines started charging you more per ticket. Have you ever seen a discount? Have you ever seen them come back to before September 11 TSA rules and the skyrocketing of airline fuel or jet fuel rather? I'm sorry. Have you ever seen them give discounts when the price of that goes down? No. Because what goes up when it comes to buying and purchasing power will never come down. Like I said, it's why inflation is what it is. Because once Biden-Harris got in office and fixed supply chains, the price of your goods never came back down to show that, they wasn't paying extra to get stuff here. It's why these corporations are still making money hand over fist. And you have Republicans talking about he's drilling baby drill. Well, okay, he's opened up leasing for new oil fields. How long do you think it takes to get an oil field up and running? Estimates are about 6 to 10 years before it pulls a profit, before they even start drilling, because oil rigs take a lot of money to build. So again, he's not lowering your prices. He doesn't care. That's why, and neither party really cares, which is why neither party ever talks about taking subsidies from oil companies. And I think I said that in one of my last videos. None of them actually care about taking that down. None of them actually care about not subsidizing corporate-owned farms. And as far as you farmers that voted for 47, because he promised he promised that your prices your costs would go down while America buys your product. Well, did most of you know that American farms grow way more food than American producers than American consumers actually use, which is why a lot of their stuff goes overseas. And we subsidize them to do that, especially the corporate farms. I'm not certain how many private farms actually sell goods outside of the country, but, I'm more than certain it's not zero. I'm sure it's a number much, much, much higher than 0% rather. Like I said, the Democrats, and that's what I'm going to start calling some of them now, Democrats, a lot of them need to go. A lot of them need to go. Yes, we've thinned out some of the bad ones, i.e. Kristen Sinema, Joe Manchin. Yeah, we gotten rid of a few of them. There's a lot more that needs to go. And I'm talking about Fetterman, who got himself elected as a progressive and immediately turned to a maggot. Hakeem Jeffries, dude, you are not Obama. Stop trying to sound like Obama. Stop trying to act like Obama. When you were yourself, you was all right, but you've turned into crap at this point. You're not a leader. You're not a leader. And Schumer, I hope AOC primaries you. I really do, because the way y'all going, you're not energizing your base. You're not. You're turning us all away from you. And 47. Let me talk to you. Saying it's hilarious to me. Saying that you are going to make it illegal to talk bad about Tesla and Elon Musk? Really? Huh. That I like to see that happen, because his vehicles, all of his products are junk any goddamn way, which is why most people don't like owning them past 3 years. Go for it, dude. Go for it. You're the kingmaker. Go for it. Nah. Like I said, man, it's just so much. It's so much stupidity with this country right now. This might be part one. I might have to continue this one tomorrow, because there's so much more that's even happened over the last 48 hours that it's not even funny, including number 47 acting like he doesn't have to pay attention to the courts when they rule against him. Yeah. What's funny is I know damn well if it was a Democrat that this happened with, the Republicans would be up in arms. They'd be wanting to impeach. But they don't care now. So much for the Constitution, huh? Yeah. It's just something to talk about.